Got our Pilates ball. Hi, Robbie. Bye, Robbie. Okay, we are going to start in a standing position with our ball. So to start, we're just going to keep maintaining that little bit of looseness in the shoulder. So just find that little pass around just to keep a little warmth in the shoulder area, and then just get a sense of the feeling of the ball in your hand. Awesome. And then take that and pass it in the other direction. Nice. And then we're going to take it into a little single leg work. So shift your weight over to one foot. We're going to stick with one leg for about 8 passes. You're going to just pass underneath. If you can, keep the leg lifted. But if you need to reset your toe, go ahead and do that. 2 more passes here. Nice. And then set that leg down, and we're going to take it to the other side. You're just going to pick your leg up. Keep the leg lifted if you can. Last one. Nicely done. Set that leg down. Place the ball right between your inner thighs, or right about that space right above the knees. We're going to keep our toes and our knees pointing fairly forward. And then with that little bit of a squeeze on the ball, we're just going to sit our butt down and back. Maintain that squeeze. Rise up. And as you rise up, bring a little squeeze to your glutes as if you're trying to push that ball out from your inner thighs. But we're going to maintain that squeeze there. Lower down. Lift up. Squeeze the glutes. Lower down. Lift up and squeeze. Beautiful. 6 more to go here. Nice. Last one. Awesome. Release that ball from your inner thighs. Give them a good shake out. And now we're going to take it into a bent knee position with a hip hinge, and we're going to place the ball at our belly. So we're going to sit into a little chair, placing that ball nice and tight so that we can kind of get it squeezed into that hip crease. Once you found that little place where it's keeping hold in that hip crease, hands behind the head. We're going to slightly round over the ball, maintaining that squeeze. Lift and squeeze your shoulder blades. Round slightly over the ball. Lift and squeeze between the shoulder blades. Beautiful. Round slightly. Lifting through the upper back body. Nice. Round and lift. 3 more to go here. Take it at your pace. Last one. Woo! And then release your hands, grab that ball, rise up nice and slow. Give your legs a little soft shake, and then we're going to place the ball down on the ground, stepping 1 foot onto the ball. So find your foothold first. So it's a good neutral position, and you're not having to work too hard, but it does create a little instability. So just make sure your foot is firmly on the ball, and then take a little squat, and then rise up. It's just to play around with that balance on the standing leg. Take a little squat and rise up. 2 more here. Beautiful. And then as you rise up, shift your weight into your standing leg and just take a couple of rolls to the bottom of your foot. Think about going the perimeter of the foot. So the outer edges just circling around. Beautiful. And then go in the other direction. Nice. And then step that foot off, hands free if you can, switching your foothold. So you're going to step your other foot onto the ball, find that comfortable position, and then we're just working a little work in the standing leg. So you're just going to bend your knee a little bit, rise back up. 3 more to go. Nice. Last one. And then keeping your weight on that standing leg, circle your foot on the ball. Awesome. And then circle your foot the other way. Nice. And then release your foot. And then if you can, hands free again, you're going to just walk that ball so that it gets hugged in between your ankles. Toes and knees are pointing forward. And you're just going to keep a nice, good, firm squeeze on that ball. Hands in your hips, hands wherever you want your hands to be. But we're just going to lift the heels up away from the floor, maintaining that squeeze on the ball. lowering it back down with control. Lift up, maintain that squeeze, lower with control, lift up and lower down, lift up and lower down. Awesome. Keep a nice firm center, controlled movement going up, controlled movement going down. 3 more to go here. Nicely done. Lower your heels, step them apart, shake them out. And now we're going to come down into tabletop position. So take your time as you come on down. Ball is going to be in the right hand. So in our tabletop position, and honestly, if your left hand and your wrist is not feeling it right now, you always have the option for this one, especially to just sit back onto your heels. But if it feels okay to do so, you're going to keep that tabletop position and you're going to draw some circles with the ball underneath your right hand. And then draw those circles the other way. Nice. And then we're going to take a claw grip. So think about nice wide finger spread on the ball. Grab that ball, lift it up nice and high. Think about that thread the needle that we started with and mix it up. Thread through and underneath, get a little reach. Lift that ball up nice and high. Thread through and underneath and get a little reach. Keep that claw grip on the ball. Lift up nice and high. Thread through and underneath. Last one, reach up nice and high. Thread through and underneath. And this time, let your ear and your shoulder come down to the ground. Keeping that claw grip on the ball, take a nice big breath. Nice slow breath out. Awesome. And then lift back up with control. And then place that ball on the ground, switching hands. Left hand's going to find the ball. And we're going to draw some circles. Go in one direction. And again, if you need to take any pressure off that wrist, you can always sit back on your butt for this maneuver. And then when you're ready, switch directions, go the other way. Nice. And then when you're ready, grab the ball, find that nice claw grip, lift it up nice and high, thread it through and underneath to get a nice big reach. Beautiful. Lift it up nice and high, thread it through and underneath, lift it up nice and high, thread through and underneath, lift it up nice and high. And then this time as you thread through and underneath, left ear, left shoulder are going to find the ground. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then lift yourself back up with control. We're going to come back to that right hand. And now we're going to take it into a single arm puppy pose. So the right hand is going to hold onto the ball and reach it towards the top of the mat. And then you're going to readjust your handhold as needed. So you might choose to keep a claw grip. You might choose to loosen it up and let your palm just kind of firmly rest on it. And then you're going to take your left hand, turning the hand inward. So fingertips are turned towards the right side of your mat. So your elbow and forearm are down on the ground. And then once you've got that left elbow and forearm down, drop your chest down and let your forehead rest on your left forearm and get that nice long reach through the right arm. Yes, nice, you guys, beautiful. One more breath. And then come up nice and strong and steady, lifting yourself up. And then we're going to switch to the other side. So left hand is going to have the ball. That's going to reach to the top of the mat. Right hand's going to turn in. So fingers are towards the left side of the mat. Elbow and forearm down. And then keeping your hips in line with your knees, drop your chest and forehead down and keep that nice long reach through the left arm. One more breath. And then when you're ready, come up with control. And now we're going to place that ball so that it's going to be underneath the chest. So we're going to lower ourselves down onto the belly with the ball in the center of your chest. So give a little time here to just find that position. You want to make sure that this feels like a good and comfortable position. And then just for an FYI, if you've got any non-original parts, if there's any surgery up in the chest, or if you have extra added breast. If you have anything extra going on, you might need to rearrange and make sure it's a comfortable enough pressure. So just make sure the ball is placed where it feels good. And then once you've got it in the center of your chest to the best of your ability, you're just going to let the back body soften. So arms are going to find a comfortable position. You're going to try and let your forehead relax down. And here we're just creating space. So with that compression of the ball through the front of the chest, soften through the back of the body as best you can, and then just tune in and let the breath do the work for you here. So nice, big, generous inhale and a nice, slow exhale. Two more breaths here. Awesome. And then when you're ready, slowly and mindfully, just lift yourself up. And then we're going to prop ourselves up on our elbows. So we're going to move the ball down into the solar plexus area. So you're going to move that ball on down, that it's underneath the chest, and now finding that solar plexus. So think of it like a little bit of a Sphinx pose, but supported, elbows and forearms down on the ground, hands in a parallel position, spread your fingers nice and wide. And then we're just kind of walking our legs in towards each other. So we're going to get a little hugging sensation in the inner thighs. Press into the palms. Think about pulling your elbows back towards your ribs so we get a little squeeze between the shoulder blades. And then maintaining that squeeze, we're going to take the right leg, bend the heel in, give a little pump of the leg, release it back down, and then take it to the left side. Pump that left leg and release it down. Nice. Back to the right. Pump, and release. And then back to the left and release. Beautiful. Back to the right and release. And then back to the left and release. Nice. One more time each side. Beautiful. And then releasing that down. And now we're going to move that ball back on down towards the belly. So think about psoas. So we're going to find the hip points and then move slightly inside the hip points. So we find that soft texture of the belly in that little nice and little hugged in place where there's soft tissue. We're off of the bony structure, and then allow a second or two here to just let the muscle tissue relax. So if this is a lot for you, or if you've got hernia or any abdominal surgery, this might not be the position for you. You might choose to take it into a seated position and use your hands to put that pressure on. But if it feels comfortable to be here, once you've got that ball underneath your belly, rock your hips a little bit side to side. And implants was the word I was looking for and just completely escaped my mind. So I finally found my way there. All right, one more little rock side to side, and then bring it back to center. How soft can you allow the muscles around the ball to get? You might feel a little quiver in your belly. You might feel a little heartbeat in there. Take a couple of nice deep breaths, inviting as much softness in as you can find. Awesome. And then when you're ready, you're just going to prop yourself a little bit, push into your knees, push into your elbows, and then move that ball over to the left side. So we're still staying in that low belly area, hugging to the inside of the left hip point now, and then finding that soft tissue. And then just give a second to find your way there. Make sure it feels like it's a comfortable position. And then once you feel like you're there, rock your hips a little bit side to side. Nice. And then when you're ready, bring it more to that neutral position and then just invite that softness in. Allow the muscle tissue to soften. And then check in. One side might feel totally different than the other. So if you need to lift off or do it in an upright seated position, do what your body is asking you to do. But if it feels comfortable to be here, allow that softness to come in. Soften your belly, soften your low back. Take a couple nice deep breaths. Beautiful. When you're ready, nice and easy. We're going to roll our way off of that ball, coming back up into a tabletop position. And then once you found your way into that tabletop position, we're just going to leave the ball on the ground for a moment. Take 3 cat-cow breaths here. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale and round your back. Inhale to drop your belly. Exhale to round. Awesome. One more breath. Beautiful. And then finding a neutral tabletop position, we're going to take that ball and place it underneath the right shin. So we want to find a good place where we can trap that ball underneath the shin. And then think of this more as a myofascial release. So you're just going to drag that ball across the shin from the knee down towards the ankles, putting a little pressure on. So you feel a little bit of massaging action as you pull the knee in and then push the knee away. Lovely. One more pull in and out. And then we're going to switch sides. So you're going to release that ball from underneath that shin and take it over to the other side. Get a good placement first. And then once you feel like you're there, set your tabletop up and then pull that knee forward and back. Beautiful. One more forward and back. And then when you're ready, step your leg off of that ball and we're going to spin our legs out so we come into a little side seat. So we're going to set ourselves up so we get our little mermaid seat or our zigzag seat. So one leg in front, one leg out to the side, and then the leg that's in front, we're going to let that hand hold the ball into our little mermaid. So we're going to roll the ball out, reach with the top hand, controlled with the side body as you lift up, make your claw grip, grab that ball, take a little counter stretch. Nice. Hand down to the ground, roll your way out. With control through the side body, grab that ball, lift up, take a counter stretch. Beautiful. One more time here. Rolling your way out. Pulling back up with control, grab that ball. Awesome. And then bring it up and overhead. The other hand is going to grab the ball. If you can, hands free, you're going to swing those legs around to the other side. If you need to place your hands down, do what you need to do, but get yourself arranged. And then if you can, hand down to the ground with that ball and away we go to the other side. Rolling out, lifting up, grab that ball, take a little counter stretch. Awesome. Roll it out. Lift it up and take your counter stretch. Nice. One more time. Roll it out. Lift it up, take your counter stretch. And then both hands meet overhead. Beautiful. And now from here, we're going to see if we can take our legs into a butterfly position. So if you can, swing that outer leg in, soles of the feet together, wiggle around in your sits bones. And then once you feel like you're there, just let your ball rest in between your legs, grab your feet, and we're just going to lean forward just a little bit and then lift back up. Lean forward just a little bit and lift back up. One more time, just like that. Lean forward just a little bit and lift back up. Beautiful. Now we're going to separate our feet and see if you can place the ball in between the soles of the feet. So it's going to change the position of your hips. You might not be able to lean forward quite as much, or you might find you have huge range of motion here. So it might vary from body to body. Keeping a little bit of a squeeze on that ball, lean your heart forward just a little bit, and then lift yourself back up. Lean yourself forward just a little bit and lift yourself back up. Nice. One more time, just like that. Lean yourself forward just a little bit and lift yourself back up. Awesome. And now from here, we're going to lower ourselves down to the ground. So if you like, grab that ball, place it right between your knees, walk your feet to about hip width distance apart, curl your tailbone under, roll your way down to the ground with control. And then once you found your way there, take a second, get situated, make sure your clothes and your hair are comfortable, keeping that ball between the knees. We're going to plant our arms down onto the ground, lift those legs up into a tabletop position. Keep that squeeze on the ball. We're going to take some toe taps here. So you're just going to lower your toes to the ground, pull the thighs back up. So we want to find that work coming out of our hip hinge, working from the belly muscles, toes touch down to the ground, and then lift back up with control. Nice. We got 5 more to go here. Last one. We're going to keep the legs in tabletop position, keep the ball between the thighs. Arms are going to come out maybe just a little bit wider to provide kickstands. And then we're going to start to drop the knees side to side. So now we want to find a little bit of work in the obliques. You're going to drop the knees over to the left, just to the point where you feel those obliques fire up, and then pull it back to center and then over to the other side. Awesome. One more time each side. Cool. And then as you bring it back to center, grab the ball. And now we're going to place the ball between the ankles or in between the feet, whichever way works best for you. Sorry, I had a little technical issue. Okay, place that ball between your feet, and we're going to keep the legs lifted up towards the ceiling. Keep a little hug, a little squeeze between that ball. And now we're going to take it into a little corkscrew. So feet are going to come over to the right, make a little U shape, bring it over to the left, and then pull it back to center. And now go over to the left. Take it to the side, a little U shape, scooping down, over to the right, bring it back to center. And then take it over to the right, a little U shape, scooping down, pull it back to center, over to the left, a little U shape, and pull it back to center. Nice. One more time each side. Beautiful. And then as you bring it back to center, bend your knees, grab that ball, set your feet into the ground, and then we're going to take it into a lifted hip position. So you're going to lift your hips up, slide that ball underneath your tailbone, get it in your center. So we want to find a nice central location. So it's under the tailbone, under the hip bones in a nice supported place. Give a second to find your way there. Make sure it feels like it's in a good place. Feet about hip width distance apart, nice and solid on the ground. Once you feel like you found your way there, hands down on the ground, palms facing down. And we're going to take a little pelvic tilt here with the ball underneath the hips. So you're going to think about curling the tailbone up and then pushing the tailbone down, get a little arch in the back. Pulling the tailbone up and then pushing the tailbone down. Beautiful. Curl the tailbone up, push the tailbone down. Nice. We got 4 more to go here. Last one, but we're going to keep the ball underneath our hips or underneath the tailbone. Left leg is going to stay nice and grounded. We're going to lift the right leg up into that tabletop position, keeping that 90-degree bend. And we're going to do 4 toe taps here. So we're going to maintain that bend at the knee. We're going to try and stay nice and solid on the ball so our hips aren't wobbling all over the place, using our abdominal muscles to keep everything nice and controlled. One more lift and lower here. Beautiful. And then set that leg down, take it to the other side. Make sure your hips feel stable. Lift the left leg up, keep that 90-degree bend, lower your toe to the ground, pull it back up with control. So our hips are staying as level as they can on the ball. Abdominal muscles are helping control. Beautiful. Last one here. And then lower that foot back down to the ground. Nice. And then just tune in, just take a second to make sure that ball still feels like it's in a good position. We're going to pull the right knee up towards the chest and let it kind of sink in towards your chest. Hands free if you can. You're going to slide your left leg nice and long. Let the foot get nice and heavy towards the earth. And then once you've got a position with that left leg, maybe see if it feels good to reach your right hand up. Catch your right knee, hug it in for a little squeeze, but then just make sure that the ball is safe and solid underneath you. You're not wobbling all over the place. Take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then slide your left leg in as you release your right foot back to that bent knee position. And then when you're ready, take your left knee up, let it sink in towards your chest. Make sure the ball feels good underneath you. Slide your right leg nice and long. Once you feel like you're in a good solid position, if it feels comfortable to do it, grab your left knee, hug it in. Awesome. And then when you're ready, releasing that, slide your right leg in, let your left foot go. And then we're going to lift the hips up, remove the ball out from underneath your tailbone, lower your spine down, and then just pause for a second to notice. Notice how your hips feel. Notice how your low back feels. Make any little wiggles or adjustments that you need to soothe anything out. And now we're going to take that ball and place it up in between the shoulder blades. So get it all set into place under the shoulder blades, nice in the middle. And then once you found your way there, hands behind the head. Inhale, lean over the ball. Exhale, contract the abdominal muscles and lift up. Inhale and lean back. Exhale and lift up. Inhale, lean back. Exhale and lift up. Two more to go. Beautiful. And then as you come up to that lifted position, push into your feet, lift your hips up, and we're just going to glide up and down that ball, bringing it up towards the tops of the shoulders and then back down towards the shoulder blades. Nice. And then when you're ready, bring it back in between the shoulder blades and take it into a little bit of a back bend. Let your head drop back, let your elbows get nice and heavy. Find that nice opening through the chest. Take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, contract your abdominal muscles, lift up through the chest. And then we're going to sit ourselves all the way up, extending your legs out in front of you, and then step your feet so they're in a wide position. So feet kind of coming to the outer edges of your mat. From there, hands behind the head, and you're just going to leave the ball on the ground. Rotate to the right, bring it back to center, rotate to the left, bring it back to center, rotate to the right, bring it back to center, rotate to the left, bring it back to center. Rotate to the right and then add a little side bend. So left elbow is going to reach towards left knee. Lift it back up with control. Rotate to the left. Right elbow towards the right knee. Bring it back up. Rotate to the right. Left elbow drops down. Lift it back up. Nice. Rotate to the left. And the right elbow comes down. Awesome. One more time each side. Beautiful. And then as you bring it back to center, release your arms, pick up your ball, and then crisscross your legs. We're just going to find our way into a nice, easy seated position. Hand is going to place the ball on your belly with a little bit of pressure, and you're just going to draw some generous circles. Go in one direction. And then draw those circles the other way. Beautiful. And now we're going to take it across the chest and the collars. So we're just going to take it from shoulder to shoulder, putting a little bit of press, and then take it over to the other side. So you control how much pressure you put on here. And you might notice a little drag of the skin. And this is awesome because we have a lot of nerve endings through the front of the throat and the chest from our vagus nerve. So it's a nice soothing position and it should feel good. If it doesn't feel good, lighten up your pressure just a little bit. Cool. One more time across the chest and the collarbones. And then if it feels good to do so, we're going to lighten up our pressure just a little bit, but walk it across the front of the neck and the throat. So a light bit of pressure, taking it from one ear and then to the other, just across the throat. Beautiful. And then the next time you take it over to the right, hug it into the side of your neck, drop your ear down, get a little squeeze. Lift your head up, walk it over to the other side, hug it into the side of your neck, drop your ear down, get a little squeeze. Awesome. Lift your head up, bring it back to center, maybe one or two more walks across the throat. Nice. And then just bring it between your palms and just give 3 good squeezes. Pushing in and release, push in and release, push in and release. Set your ball down, give your wrists a little shake, give your fingers a little wiggle. You guys are amazing. Nice work today. Man, you guys are awesome. As always, be sure to drink plenty of water. You guys know